I now call the East Lyme Zoning Commission regular meeting of November 20th, 2025 to order at 7:30 p.m. Could we start with the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
For our official roll call, I am here. Ms. Claw? Mr. Peck?
Yep.
Ms. Markovitz?
Here.
Mr. Foley is not here. Ms. Jet Harris?
Here.
Mr. Liska is not here yet. Ms. Susko? Oh, good. Ms. Uhas, not here. Mr. Mulholland?
Here.
And Ms. Loroko? Actually, it was Mr. Liska's time to sit, but since he's not here, Ms. Susko, could you join us tonight? Oh, and Ms. Hardy, are you here tonight? Yes.
I think so.
Thank you. We do not have a public hearing tonight, so we'll go straight to the regular meeting. We have the application of Thomas Gano for waiver of ownership for backlot per section 20.8 in favor of property located at 29 Upper Walnut Hill Road, East Lyme, Assessor Map 54.0, Lot 9. And would you be happy to read the memo?
Happy to. Memo to East Lyme Zoning Commission from William Mulholland, zoning official. Read proposed back lot frontage waiver, 29 Walnut Hill Road, East Lyme. Date November 19th, 2025. In the application, Jeffrey T. Cano is proposing a subdivision to create a rear lot on property identified in the application as 29 Walnut Hill Road. The subdivision...
Upper Walnut. Sorry.
Sorry, wait a minute. Gotta do this right. Okay. Property is identified in the application as 29 Upper Walnut Hill Road. The subdivision proposal is under the purview of the Planning Commission. However, the zoning regulations have a provision to allow a waiver of the ownership requirement for the access way. Section 20.8 of the zoning regulations states in full, backlots. Notwithstanding the minimum frontage requirements for each district, backlots are permitted in a zone. Lots created after August 9, 2002 shall have minimum 25 feet frontage on an accepted or approved street and be accessible by a 25-foot permanent unobstructed access way of the same ownership. The ownership requirement may be waived by the zoning commission by a 2/3 vote of all the members upon demonstrating by the applicant that the physical features of the property preclude strict compliance with the requirement and that the granting of the waiver will not have a significantly adverse impact upon the adjacent property, the environment, or the public health and safety. The following additional requirements shall be met for the creation of back lots. A. The minimum lot width at the building line shall be equal to the frontage requirements specified for the district. The area of the access way shall not be included in the minimum required area of the lot. The maximum length of the access way measured from the street line to the front building line of the back lot shall not exceed 1,000 feet. No back lots shall be created on the following streets: Route 1, Route 156, Route 161, unless an access is combined with the driveway serving a lot which fronts on the street. Lots created using a cluster open space design which have less than required average frontage shall not be considered back lots as long as the average frontage requirement for the entire subdivision is met. Excuse me. The application is requesting a waiver due to the existing conditions, which he and his agent will explain. The board will need a 2/3 vote to approve.
Would you like to give your presentation now? Thank you.
Okay.
If you could just give us your name and address.
Of course.
As well.
You turn your easel so they can
Oh,
see.
okay, yeah, I
If
will.
you have-
I wasn't sure if my microphone was on.
I have copies, but it'd be helpful.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I get for buying cheap easel, so. Thank you. So, good evening. My name is Brian Florick. I'm a managing member of Florick Surveying LLC, 239 Shore Road, Waterford. Tonight, I'm here to represent Jeff Gano and his request for a waiver of the frontage for a building lot in the back. The reason why we're asking for it is, number one, he has plenty of area for his lot, but it's a long, slender lot, which really kind of siphons down his area that is for accessible for the rear drive. He meets all the conditions of the bulk zone requirements other than the frontage. Not too long ago, this property was in the R80 zone. It's now been changed to the R160 zone, which,
200.
oh, excuse me, thank you, Bill. R200 zone, which creates the hardship. I can point out, I'll try to talk loud. So currently Jeff accesses his house through this area here, through his parents' property. The parents own the property to the south, 2 lots, which Jeff currently accesses. What we are proposing, you can see on the sheet here. Sorry about this, I probably shouldn't have printed all these sheets. We're proposing a strip here as proposed access. So that,
I'm going to interrupt for a second purposely for clarity. You are not asking for a waiver of the frontage requirement. You are asking for a waiver of the ownership of the access way.
correct.
You do have frontage, which is an issue for the Planning Commission and, of course, my office. So you are really asking for, as noted in my memo, to waive, which is allowed, and you can grant this, the ownership of the access way, which conveniently is already in place but on another property.
Thank you.
So
Much,
please
much better
proceed.
said. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, this being, we threw a proposal on here for clarity purposes, and that is Jeff's existing house. And you can see by the size of the lot, it wraps all the way down through. It certainly meets the bulk requirements of the zone. So, I open up any questions you guys may have regarding this.
This is just a waiver for a name change of the property, right, Bill?
No, it's hard to give the example because the subject lot's behind the first lot. So in order to have a back lot, you have to have a 25-foot strip of land from the back lot to the street. We can waive the ownership of that strip. In other words, you don't have to own it, and it just becomes an easement. And that was done because there's unusual circumstances. In this particular case, there's an existing drive on another parcel. Well, we don't really care about that. What we care about is the ownership of the strip of land. Here we can waive the ownership. It doesn't have any consequence to the actual use of the property. They're actually going to come in somewhere else, which we don't really care. They have legal access down the access way. So the question is, so they may not own it, it would be an easement, which is what your regulations allow, and that's what you would be waiving, is the ownership of that 25-foot strip. So the front lot would continue to own all of the frontage and all of the lot. So they'd grant a 25-foot easement to the back lot. It's a creative way to provide an understanding that sometimes there are mitigating circumstances based on topography or existing conditions, which happens particularly in the country areas, and we have that happen sometimes in the more dense areas when there's enough to do a back lot, but maybe we have trouble with the access way of the frontage. But this is a creative way. It was recognized by this board. You put these regulations in place. Not this particular group, but it was done some time ago to recognize when there's extenuating circumstances. And we could send them to the zoning board of appeals, but the thought process at that time when we adopted this regulation was the board can be creative and can be helpful and provide certain conditions, provided the applicant can demonstrate how he complies with that section that I noted in my memo. Essentially a housekeeping issue.
Any other questions? I just want to make sure the road is, the access is already there.
Yes.
As shown on his map right in front of us here on the easel, in shade.
Anybody else?
No, it looks pretty straightforward to me.
I don't think we have any more questions.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I don't think so. Ask Mr. Mahoney.
Question?
If you have a question, ask
Yeah.
him. I'm good. Okay.
Sure.
Do we have any more discussion up here, or?
I think this sets a precedent.
Well-
If you grant the waiver.
No, not necessarily, because anybody, and we haven't had, I can't remember the last time we had a request like this, it's been a decade or more. I don't think it sets a precedent, as your advisor, because it's in your regulations, and each application would be unique unto itself, because it would have to have certain mitigating circumstances so that you would agree to waive this. And so that's what this application is about. So if you have another one, you're going to look at that. And I will also share, we met maybe 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 times with the planner and myself and the applicant's engineer, because we had some changes during this process, to, upzoning to the 200, which created some additional issues. Had they come before we upgraded, it would have been a lot simpler for them, and they would have had more land area. But as it is now, it's 5 acres each. Each lot has to have 5 acres in order to get before planning for a subdivision, and they have to have legal frontage. And so, because the regulation is a little bit unique, comprehending it can be problematic when you first encounter it. So after many meetings, we got to the point where we felt comfortable coming forward.
Does this waiver in any way change the requirement of the 5 acres?
No, not at all.
So if we grant this waiver, then there's a driveway to the rear lot, which gets around our 5 acres.
No, it doesn't get around your 5 acre zoning. They still have 5 acres. Both lots must have 5 acres before they can even go for a subdivision, because if they don't qualify, planning can't take any action because it doesn't qualify to meet the zoning code, and then there's issues with the subdivision regulations, which no point getting into here. So it meets the basic requirements. What we're concerned about is lot size and frontage. That's our charge. And then as we progress into this other regulation, in a sense, it's a built-in variance if you grant it.
Do we have a motion?
I make a motion.
Well, excuse me, Madam Chair,
Oh, sir.
you might want to go to the public,
Oh,
just in case, just to keep the record straight.
We're in
please.
a regular meeting.
That's
It's
right.
not a public hearing.
I stand corrected.
Come on, Mr. Mulholland.
It's been a long week already.
That's all right.
Thank you.
I
You're
make a
absolutely
motion
right.
to approve the application of Thomas Gano for waiver of ownership for backlot per section 20.8 in favor of the property located at 29 Upper Walnut Hill Road, East Lyme Assessor's Map, 54.0 Lot 9.
I second it.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstain? I believe it passed 501.
Madam
One
Chair, we
abstention.
will run a legal ad next Thursday, published effective on Friday. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank
That's it.
you.
Thank you.
The only other thing in our regular meeting tonight was a discussion on the short-term rentals, and I thought I'd do a really quick recap of where we've been and where we might go with this. just to refresh everybody's memory, back when Kevin Siri was first selectman, a few neighbors came to him. They were having issues with the short-term rentals that they lived next to. Kevin, as I understand it, had enough complaints that he put together a subcommittee to explore short-term rentals, their effects, possible solutions. That happened. It was co-chaired by Ann Santoro and Gary Shichello. We met for several months. We looked at what other towns did. We had hearings. We listened to people that came. They came to public delegations. There were lots of people came and gave their opinions, both owners and neighbors of short-term rentals. When we concluded the commission, we gave a report to both the Board of Selectmen, and that was a few months ago. And then we also had a report given to the Zoning Commission. There are several different ways we can go with this. I feel it's our responsibility to really look at this. If the Board of Selectmen had wanted to, they could have proposed a townwide ordinance. They have not brought anything up. As far as zoning goes, we have the option of voting on this if 4 more members want to move ahead. My proposal would be that our next meeting would come with ideas of what we would like to do. If we would like a text amendment, bring ideas you think should be included in it. If you have questions, bring questions. I've been involved with it so long I have an opinion, formulated already, but I think it's really something that is serious and we should give a lot of thought to, and it's something we should really look at and what we think would be best for the town in response to the report the Short-Term Rental Commission gave us.
Yeah, this was some light reading here.
Yeah, yeah.
Madam Chair, can we make sure that the new, they might already have it, I don't know, but the new members coming on, that they have that,
I know Kathy does.
okay.
I don't think Carrie does.
So we can-
Yeah, she met with me, and we gave her, and Jess gave her, I think, the regulations. Yeah,
Okay.
so
Thank you.
we've already started that process.
Okay.
I think that, I do believe in what Chairman Thurlow has stated, that there were several public hearings, I think 4 or 5 of them. There was a lot of information. They were heavily attended. And I think that it is our responsibility to bring some more information forward. And I'd like to make a motion that we move forward with the short-term rental and gaining the information and moving forward on that with, I think that we owe it to the public. They took the time to come out. Several of the residents came out for the same, public hearing, and one of them, it was standing room only. So I think that, they've spoken and we should listen.
And if we do a text amendment, vote on approving one, of course, we would have our own hearings.
Mhm.
And that doesn't mean it would pass or it wouldn't, but I think we owe it to the town to look at it.
Yeah, because our town is so different. All the areas are so different. We have, 8 beach communities. Some of them have their own zoning or partial zoning. And then we have, other communities that,
So-
they've been doing it for, 30 days or more. And it seems to be, working. The issue's always going to be enforcement. But I don't think that the issue of enforcement should stop us from moving forward. And they'll have to figure out the issue of enforcement. That shouldn't stop us from, making regulations.
We have a motion on the floor.
Yes.
And it's your motion to move forward
Yes.
with the discussion for next time?
Yes.
Okay. Anybody else want to comment? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Okay, we'll just...
Madam
What was
Chair-
the tally?
Bring your thoughts next time.
What was the tally in the vote?
6-0.
Okay.
Bring your thoughts next time, and we'll have a in-depth discussion on that.
And
Okay.
So we will put it on an agenda as a regular meeting
Mhm.
item. Thank you.
Minutes, I just had one thing in the minutes. On page 2, It said Ms. Thurlow noted the original chicken regulations were adopted in 2016. I think that was you, Bill, wasn't it? I didn't know that, so I don't
Yeah,
think
you
I
wouldn't
s-
know
I
that.
said
And
it.
I probably looked in the back of the zoning book where we list the amendments.
on your chair notes, so you said it when you were reading.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay, well, news to me. Thank you.
You said it, Thurlow, so own it.
I just learned something new. Um,
I make a motion, we approve the minutes
Excuse me,
of
one
the November
yeah,
6th
go,
meeting.
Norm has something.
Oh,
Second paragraph, second page. Says 1,000 square feet, should be 10,000.
good catch.
Good catch, Norm.
Oh, yeah, I see it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anybody want to make a motion to approve as amended?
I make a motion, we approve the minutes as amended.
I'll second that.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstained? 600. No old business tonight, no subcommittee reports. We had a request last week to discuss the start time of our meetings. So whoever wanted to discuss that?
No, I'm still good. I'd like to retract what my initial thought. I'd like it to be still at 7:30.
Well, we all know how I feel. I've always wanted it at 7 o'clock.
I'd like them at noon, quite frankly.
Really.
5:15 would be good for me.
What's
I
that?
like 7 o'clock.
I
I
like
love
7
7
o'clock.
o'clock.
What about,
Everybody
I
else?
would vote for 7:30, but what about you, Norm?
7:30.
So I don't think
So
you.
Mine is
doesn't
7:30.
change.
So we have three for
3-3.
7:30.
Tie vote, no.
Nancy, 7:30 or 7?
I would like 7, but I can be flexible.
Well, we would need
Don't laugh.
four people to pass a vote for 7. I don't think we have.
We
that.
don't got it. No.
Not yet. Try
Not yet.
again.
Try
Try
again.
again.
No, you can't vote.
I don't know of any correspondence this time. Public delegations. Is there anyone here tonight that would like to speak? No. All right. Zoning official.
Sitco project's moving along. They're in the hurry up, giddy up stage because they're trying to beat the weather. They didn't want to pave and put the final plants in. There'll be a evergreen wall along the north side, all the way along the back. They also own the other building, which the restaurant is, Village Cafe. He's going to remodel that late spring. So we'll get that whole section cleaned up. They're going to need to move quickly because the paving plants are going to close. Otherwise, they're in trouble, and they won't be generating dollars, and so they're moving forward. ZDM has finished their demo. We're waiting, I think, on the building permit for a check, which is extremely substantial, probably 80 Gs. So that hasn't occurred yet. That's the building permit fee.
Have
Brybrook
they
Road.
posted a bond?
No, they applied for a building permit, but they have to pay the building permit fee. They paid a zoning fee for me to sign off, which is $3 or $4 grand, but that doesn't get the building permit out the door. So that's where we're at, and we're still waiting. We've been waiting a while. And North Brybrook, the affordable housing, they continue. They've moved a lot of rock off-site. They actually are making a lot of headway.
Have they planted the trees along?
No, they haven't
Brightwood?
got there yet, and
Oh.
it may not be till spring, given the weather they're closing in, but they've moved a substantial ton of rock. I have no idea where it went. I haven't found it yet, so hopefully it's in another community. Maybe some of our adjacent neighbors are hosting, I don't know. What else is going on? I think that's pretty much it. We're busy. I have another affordable housing in the wings. I think I reported on that. That hearing is going to be in January. We're working through some of that. Town engineer, I met with him today briefly. He's examining the drainage and talking to their engineer. We're in that kind of nitty-gritty stage in the weeds at our level, in the office going through those things and doing our homework and due diligence. So that'll come forward. I don't want to get too far into it because they're not here and it would be inappropriate. So we continue to be busy. Who knows what's out there? They're paving the parking lot in back of the Morton House. They forgot to get a permit. So I don't know if it was a Saturday or what day, I just happened to poof appear and go, hey, by the way, you guys are all done. And they were dumping their water on the bank's property. They had a little outlet and they were just going to pave it and dump it. And since they dug it up, they now have to comply with some of our regulations. So we're waiting on the survey before the engineer can give us the size of the dry well, and our engineer can check it, and they can pave. We're trying to hurry up because we know the paving plants are going to close, but by the way, you can't dump your water on somebody else's property when you dig it all up. So that's
There's no
moving.
fine for that?
There is. I'd have to take him to court. It's not worth it. It's that we're going to get compliance and we're going to get it straightened up, and we're going to straighten out a water thing so everybody wins. So,
That's ZDK that owns that building, right?
well, Dave Preca. I think, I'm not sure the name of which firm is holding that one. And they both went, the contractor went like this and he went like this, and I'm like, okay, fine, but somebody come in. And they did. So that's not unusual, but that's a daily occurrence. Pretty much that's it for now.
I'd like to make a comment about the Atlantis building down there. I went to go look at the one in Marlboro that they also own, and it looks wonderful. They're very tasteful with their design. You know how I am with the native plants, so
Yeah,
none
yeah.
of that out there. But that's just
I
my
will
thing.
say,
It looks nice.
Yeah, I think it's going to be nice. I'm always hopeful, and I never know. They did the one downtown, and remember that was a retrofit. They own that gas station, and that's theirs. And I thought they did a very tasteful job because, in a sense, it's on a main street in a nice little village, and you don't really notice it as a gas station.
No, the one in Marlboro, right?
Well, no, the one down here downtown.
Oh yeah, down here.
That
yeah,
came
but the one
out
in
pretty well,
Marlboro's the same
and my
thing.
point is that, as you stated, they've been very cooperative and very attentive, and so I'm comfortable that when we're done with this one, and we really probably won't be done till late spring, we may get them open. I'm working on the canopy.
Mhm.
I would like to see the colors changed, and we're talking, because it just doesn't go with the building.
Exactly.
It just plain doesn't fit. It needs a paint job, so.
Yeah.
But, the big corporations, they have their marketing program and they want colors everywhere, et cetera. And I understand that, sympathetic to a point, but it just doesn't quite fit with the new architectural
When will they
motif.
tear the old one down?
They won't take the canopy down, but they took the other building down. I think it was this afternoon.
Did they?
Yeah,
Did?
yeah, because I went by at 10:05 or something, and I think it was down the out of the corner of your eye. You're watching traffic because you need to on that road. And I'm like, oh, there's a pile. They must have taken it down, and I didn't want to turn and look and regret that.
I've had a lot of questions about Domino's. People want to know when Domino's is going to.
They
Every
haven't
time I
shown
run
up.
into people, they're crazy for Domino's.
They never came back.
I don't know. I don't eat it, so I don't.
Yeah, either do I. But
Did
never
they
came
withdraw
back.
their
I
application?
heard they had a problem with the landlord there.
Well, I'm assuming that they didn't make a deal with the landlord. They haven't come back to locate somewhere else. Haven't heard from them since the night they were here.
When
So-
does Mystic Market open?
We're talking February. Last conversation. It may be sooner. It could be later. But they're working through getting organized and
It's
getting
looking
ready.
good on the outside.
It's getting better. They're coming along, and we've met and talked, and I think they're in a good spot. And I think they're going to be wildly successful, in my opinion.
I do too.
I can't wait. Food's good.
Our town loves to eat, so there's
It
a lot of
does.
good
It
good
does.
places.
We could use more restaurants though downtown, in my opinion.
More
Well,
restaurants?
when does the Japanese restaurant open?
Well, they haven't been back, but my understanding is they're looking to close, get it done, and they're probably going to hire an architect. They're going to come in and see me. We're thinking we're going to keep the existing facade because it is what it is, and to kind of try to do something different with it is difficult and expensive. I wanted to put the outdoor dining under the portico, but we ran into a problem because they got to put a kitchen in and retrofit the building, and they want to put the cooler under there, which makes sense. There's already an opening where the window is to service. So, we're gonna try to figure out what to do with the portico, and we're gonna put outdoor dining right across the front. Right in the front, we'll put a black wrought iron fence around it. We'll have a lot of, right now, the understanding is a lot of umbrellas and tables, and you'll be up high level with the front door, which is probably 3 or 4 feet above the sidewalk. So as you drive down, that's what you will see. And we'll use the existing motif. We'll do a sidewalk to the back of the building. We already have one out to the sidewalk, and there's a ton of parking, which is terrific. The traffic will circulate one way in and one way out to lessen the congestion on the street when you're trying to get in and out.
Nice.
So if they come forward and we get this going and get it finished, I think it'll be a nice addition to downtown.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and speaking of a nice addition downtown, a lot of people have commented about the, who designed the outside of the building at the new salon that they opened up?
Well, I will share that.
People are very,
Um,
very happy with that and the way that it looks.
I'm going to share that candidly with you as a group. I had my sticky fingers all over it. I went round and round with George, who's a wonderful guy, but I understand, and I had been looking for white clear cedar shakes, and he was reluctant. He wanted to put vertical clapboard paneling, something like texture 111. We all would probably not have been thrilled. He finally acquiesced, and I had a conversation with your chair lady, and she said, yeah, it should have cedar shakes, and it should have black trim here and there and everywhere and blah, 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 and it would look wonderful. And I said, you know what, you're absolutely right, there should be black shutters. You're absolutely right. George, if you do this, I'll get you a permit in 10 minutes.
What-
all right.
What property are you talking about?
Where the book barn used to be downtown on the corner.
Well, kudos
and-
to George Mitchell for that, because it is a
yes,
beautiful
and
addition.
it came out nice. The only thing I was upset about, I'm not upset, but he must have found a couple of old shingles, red cedar shakes, not white clear, and they were a different color and they looked different. I would have preferred the clear, but given our street, you're right, it came out nice, it looks great. So there were some sticky fingers from a lot of different people, and we crossed our fingers, and lo and behold, it looks pretty good. And the operator for the hair salon, she painted the door black to match
Oh, it just
everything,
looks
and
really
she
nice.
did that
Good
of her
job,
own
Ann.
volition.
Good job.
So a lot of different people kind of pulled together, and
Yeah.
I agree. I think it looks, in my opinion, it's not everybody's taste, but
Oh, everybody likes it.
Well,
I've heard
that's
a lot
nice
of
to hear.
comments.
I
Yeah.
hope they're successful.
yeah. So thank you, Madam Chairman.
You
It's
too.
great input.
Teamwork.
Any word from Hartford?
I talked to our attorney. He hasn't read it yet. I've talked to Attorney Casey, who does my no-ink stuff. He hasn't digested it yet, and I haven't digested it yet. Looks like the governor's going to sign the bill. We're waiting to see what he does and then what the repercussions are going to be for us. And once we understand the legal repercussions, we'll know what this board's going to have to do. And I've already asked the town attorney to come in and speak with you when we get to that point about if the governor signs it, what we have to do and what we don't have to do. Some of the things in there, I think, eliminate local control for zoning. As I understand it now, and I haven't digested it, I did scan it, it appears that you could just put affordable housing in any building downtown and you can't do anything about it. You can't even have a hearing, and they don't need parking. So that's kind of frightening for a lot of small villages in town. There are some opt-out issues that I'm not familiar with yet. I've got to get in and read it. So I'd rather not say more because I haven't really digested it, and I'll get together with our attorney and then we'll come visit with you.
Any word on the moratorium?
Last I knew, Attorney Bleasdale, in my last conversation, which I reported the last time, he's working on it. He had some issues with a couple of units that we were going to use for credit because we have to list the units and go to the state and say, here's what we have for housing stock. This is our affordable housing. Here's the points we're entitled to because we get points. And we've had some people they have done it. They've changed the affordable housing deeds and just went and filed new deeds and eliminated the affordable housing designation. So we have to chase that down and straighten that out. And that's where and who knew that? Tim didn't know that. Tim Bleasdale, our attorney. I had previously come across it a couple of times, and we got it straightened out through my office and the administrator for that particular development, who was very helpful. So last I knew, that's what the attorney's chasing down. Once he has that straightened out, then he'll go to Hartford.
If we get the moratorium approved, will that supersede this new bill, you know?
We don't know that yet. That's not understood. No, I've got to work through that along with the law firm.
So it's not the first selectman that's holding it up. It's
No, it is not.
Not at this point.
No. This is the legal, doing our legalese and our due diligence and making sure we cross our T's, because when we approach the state, we have to have the facts, and we certainly don't want to be embarrassed because we stepped on our own toes.
Is it possible to have more help from our law firm?
That's something you would have to ask the firm.
Wait a minute, I'm confused. These are rental units, so who owns the deed that's changing a deed?
If they're not all rentals. Some of these are owned. Some affordable housing units, particularly 38 Hope Street, is owned by individuals who own the title, and we've had a couple instances where grandma left it to the granddaughter, an affordable housing unit. Well, you have to qualify to live in it, and somebody changed the deed and eliminated the affordable housing, so we've got to chase that down.
Who would change the deed without looking?
Well, maybe they were looking. We're not going to make any accusations. We're, maybe inadvertently somebody misfiled something, and we're just bringing it to their attention. It'd be in their best interest to file it back as soon as possible.
Got it. Okay, well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Miss Hardy?
I can't stay here, I'll have to get up.
We can bring the
I
platform
can bring the mic
to you.
over. I could lend you this one.
Portable mic.
Yeah, what?
So, well, thank you, Mr. Mulholland, for joining us at the Board of Selectmen last night for a rather lengthy meeting. And I'm glad you were there to help me explain this whole tower situation. Much of it was very technical. It's quite a long presentation. The application is to bring in a new cell tower, which would be located on property behind Smokey O'Grady's. It would be different in design from our current cell tower, in that has kind of a crisscross pattern. This is a straight line pole, and then there are slots on there, divisions on the pole for various companies that wish to utilize the service.
How many stories high was this pole?
132 feet.
Yeah.
How many?
132 feet. It's a
How many
monopole.
stories
is
is
that like 8 stories?
I think,
Well, a one-story building in your home you normally have 8-foot ceilings in your house, 8 to 9 foot. So there you go.
So this is going to stick out like a sore thumb.
it's not going to be as noticeable as the current tower, but it is taller. But it's not as expansive this way. All of this was recorded last night, and so you can watch that on replay, which really would give you more of the details. So there are different platforms on there, and various companies can rent space on the tower, which is how the company makes money. So AT&T, I believe that there are 5, I think they told us that there were 5 places that already had asked for spots, and that would leave 2 open ones. So the reasons for this is that there are several places in town where there is no reception. And particularly as you get toward the northern part of town, this is really important for our emergency vehicles, because very frequently they do lose contact in certain zones. So I think because of the amount of detail and technicality, that this is going to come to you at some point. And I would suggest that this might be a good intro for you. I believe that it's up online as of tomorrow.
Will it be zoning's vote or the Board of Selectmen's vote?
Board of Selectmen start off, but then it is going to have to come to you and also to planning. And because it's so complex, I would suggest that before it comes to you, you get an initial presentation so that you can really come forward with the questions that you want. Mr. Mulholland? Would you
I
like
have a
to-
question, Roseanne, before I forget. How long did you guys get the information? Like, when do you typically get information?
It was quite an extensive presentation, and
When do you guys get your packet, though, for?
well, we usually get our packet like 3 days before,
Oh.
and it was a lot to try to digest. But many people had questions, and there was question time for the audience. This was a public hearing, but I don't think that people were really aware. I think there would have been more concern had there been more publication, more public notification.
Well, the newspaper said that the town was notified back in October. So I was just,
Well, we're working with attorneys in between.
To jump in briefly, I did go and I guess I spoke. The tower is 132 feet. It'll be a monopole. It'll be up there, right in the backyard of Smokey O'Grady's. They're going to eliminate some parking, so there were some issues that may or may not become non-conforming. We didn't have enough detail. We talked about other sites briefly. I don't know that it was really addressed. So there's a lot of other questions we had. Co-location. We've worked for a long time to clean up Flanders Four Corners, and it's taken decades, and we've done that. And now we have architectural design review in that area, et cetera. I think, in my opinion, professional and personal, I think there's better locations. But this may come before this board for some discussion. That is, I'm having talks with the town attorney about that now.
So we shouldn't be talking about that right now?
I would not,
No.
because if it does, then somebody might think we're predisposed or I'm giving testimony. This is sort of just, there was a meeting last night, and then some people, there was a big presentation. I have the packet in my office. So that's where we're at. Roseanne, I don't know if there's anything else you want to add at this time.
No, I think particularly as it's going to be coming to both you and planning, but I believe that you'll be giving recommendations to us. The final decision, I think, will be with the Board of Selectmen.
I just want to note for the edification of the commission, technically and legally, the Connecticut Siting Council has sole jurisdiction because it's treated like a public utility. So that's the law, but it doesn't mean that we can't comment, and that's what last night was about, gathering information and views and asking questions.
This is big time. They had at least 3 high-priced lawyers there. This is something they really want, and I think that if there were other locations that people might have an interest in, this could be discussed. But they have invested a lot of time and money, and I do think that there is a need for it. Unfortunately, we can't miniaturize the height, but I think that that's one of the things that can be discussed with your commission. You know the layout of the layout of the town, the zones. Mr. Mulholland's, of course, very well informed on that. And so there was no final decision here. This was to get the information out so we can begin to process it. And you stayed for the whole time, Bill, but it was just quickly mentioned that the old tower will not be coming down.
Right.
Which I won't say, but you can get the gist. I don't think we need 2.
Yeah, I think, Roseanne, I think your suggestion about taking your time to watch the presentation might be helpful in the big picture, and certainly you're entitled to look at that. And
Thank you.
I would recommend that you do that.
And there were some other concerns expressed also, because there is a child care center in that area. And when you drive by, you might want to take a look at just actually how that would fit in. And Bill mentioned briefly parking. And now, so would that come under you or planning?
Parking falls under zoning. It would be, if they were building, the question I'm going to have is, if it's under the siting council, where's the line drawn where their jurisdiction stops? Can they eliminate parking that belongs to a restaurant? And then can they tell us, well, we've added additional parking on another parcel of land contrary to our regulations? I don't think they can, but we're going to have to work through that issue, and it's a legal question.
I think you had a good point too about if something happened and it fell.
Well, we call that the fall zone, and I don't think any time or very little time was spent on that. So there's a lot of questions, and that's what last night was. More questions, answers in general.
And I think, I did not discuss this with the first selectman, but I think that once we get input from your board and from planning, that we would want to have another public hearing. I really don't think that this was well advertised. I would say maybe there were, 10 people, 15 people?
If that.
Yeah, so. Okay, so we are getting our next installment of NIP funds, and I continue to be amazed. $12,267.
Wow.
In quarters.
Actually,
That's a lot of.
the amount is higher. It's actually $12,988. Can you just imagine?
I can, because I pick them up off my front yard on a daily basis.
Surprised it's not more than that, to be honest.
Well, so the majority of that money, we'll be leaving a balance of about $40, will be used to clean the town catch basins, because our equipment cannot handle removing those covers and getting these nasty little things out of the catch basins. And just think of the amount of liquid that's consumed when people are driving.
Well, it is getting nippy out there, so.
So,
Sorry.
and you would think even on state roads, the responsibility for cleaning out these catch basins falls to the local town, not to the state. So this is state requirement that these catch basins must be cleaned. And, all right, I'm going to take a guess now. I'm going to come to you first, Norm. How many catch basins would you say are in town?
Ooh, the teacher's here, Norm. This is a test. You're up.
I have no idea. Is this a contest?
Yes,
Is there a prize?
there
I want
could
a
be.
prize.
There could be.
Yeah, an empty nip.
The prize will be satisfaction.
15,000.
Well, I'll come to the other end of the table. What would you say?
30,000.
You people been driving along watching catch basins?
No, they're just everywhere because you run into them with your tire if you're not careful and you go off the road.
Well, those catch basins
7,000.
have to drain 118 miles of town-approved roads. That doesn't include, of course, all the little side roads and things where these can be deposited. 2,526 catch
Wow.
basins.
I'd like to know how many are on the water that are not working correctly, that drain into the Niantic River and places like that.
That's not my department.
Actually, I don't think there are many, because I know they pay attention to that, and they're
Oh,
cleaning
I
them.
know
Yes.
of
There
one.
may be a couple broken
I
up
know
ones.
of one.
Well, then it should be reported. So then the other thing I have is that I brought up last time, the idea of the speed cameras. And I think that I didn't state it quite as clearly as I might have, because when the minutes came out, said that the Board of Selectmen had approved it, and we did not. This was a presentation. I might not have been clear, but there would be 3 locations in town where these speed cameras would be installed. And it won't be any surprise. There'll be a sign that says, "You're entering an area where speed cameras are in effect." So if you're warned, why in the world would you speed? Beats me. But
Because they've had their nips.
Yes,
They're all nipped up.
so obviously, this would be, the recommendation is that these would be placed in areas where there was heavy foot traffic, sidewalks, which we have very few of, and areas where there could be a considerable amount of pedestrian traffic.
What about the schools? Why don't they put them?
Well, they probably will be near those
So
those
this is the
areas.
beginning.
I
Big
thought they
brother.
were saying you could get too much personal information off license
Yeah.
plates.
Well, now this temporary information is gathered. Of course, it's a camera. By law, this law that they've set up, that information has to be destroyed after 60 days. So, if a vehicle is traveling 10 or more miles per hour above the posted speed limit, the fine is $50. So, seems to me if you're in a big hurry to make an appointment, $50, not that much. $75 for the second offense. Personally, I'd charge more, but and then if it is if the violation exceeds the posted speed limit by 10 miles per hour, then there's a fine of $147. Those are our current fees for speeding, which I think is a bargain. I think we need to up our fees. But we're not going to make a lot of money from this, because now it's only going to be, let me see what it is here. The speed exceeds the posted limit by 20 miles per hour, the fine is $196. But with the new program, it's either $50 or $75. So the idea is to slow the traffic down in areas where there really are problems. It's not, aside from the fine, there's really not much deterrence.
Who gets the money?
The town.
Oh, they definitely need
general
to raise
fund?
it then.
General fund?
Does this go
Go ahead.
on your record?
No.
They always say that.
So,
Call your
But if
insurance
you don't
company.
pay your fine, then they're gonna do something to your registration
right,
or something.
they will fine
They
you
will take
additional
your-
money.
Right.
They'll take your registration away.
Soul says no.
So this has not been approved?
Nope, have to be a public hearing on this.
Is there been a need identified? I mean, I don't see that stuff, so I don't know. Is there a speeding problem?
We have a new police chief who has seen this program in action and has advocated for it. And it's been very successful, because the idea is public safety. And if people think that they're going to pay a fine, even a smaller fine, then perhaps that will slow them down.
Is this a fundraising effort, or is this a safety effort? I mean,
It's
is
supposed to be safety.
I don't know. I haven't seen any. As a resident, I would be interested in why would we do this?
For
Is
safety.
there? But I mean, do we have data that says it's necessary or needed?
That's what we're,
Well, you've got people that are running the bus stops and
We've
that
seen
arm
some,
thing
yes,
over there.
yeah.
I mean,
I've seen buses
it's just
do
an
it.
accident waiting to happen there. So
Mhm.
I think at
And
all costs we
particularly with-
should protect our children in the schools. In the schools and stuff. I mean, they are number one. Protect them. So if you don't want the ticket,
but the problem is you can't monitor every bus stop. these kids getting on and off the buses.
Well, if the
But this
camera's
is a
there,
start. No, the camera is only in 3 different locations.
But don't
maybe they
don't
should
the
make
buses have cameras?
one of them in the place that everybody's complaining about online, they're flashing
Well,
people's.
it's really not anything that we're gonna have a say about right now.
Thank
so
you.
No, but still, I think
I
it's,
think we can move on.
Well,
Shut up.
I agree.
Thank you for
Roseanne,
talking
if
about
it's not reported to the state,
It is initially reported, but then the records are not kept. So I asked the question, if there's no, what are you going to do about people that are repeat offenders? So if the records are destroyed, I've got it here, I think it's 60 days. I could look it up. But there'll be more to come on this, and I think there'll be a lot more public discussion. So that's my reason for showing up
so if you
tonight.
don't pay the bill,
They come after you,
who's they?
the state.
Oh, okay.
It's like the easy
You
pass.
Your
file it.
driver's license has been suspended, sir.
Okay,
You
so
owe
it
us
so it is
$20.
reported.
So I'll leave you with this little thought. Police officers have discretion.
I'm going on a 2-month vacation.
Speed cameras don't. And speed cameras don't have any bias. So the facts are the facts. All right, that's it for tonight.
Thank you.
And shortly we can all go home.
Mr. Liska
Slowly.
Mr. Liska is not here to report on the past planning meeting.
And I'll be at the next one.
Well, thank you. I do not have any more comments. Do we have an adjournment, motion to adjourn?
I make a motion, we adjourn.
All those in favor? Aye. 8:26, we're done.